Howdy, this is Mackenzie Franklin from SideGame LLC here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. In this video, we'll be reviewing Ancient Realm, designed by Stephen Aramini and published by Button Shy Games. We'll be talking about the pros, the neutrals, and the cons, as well as my final thoughts and an overall rating for the game. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please make sure that you do. It is the best way to help us grow. And for those of you already subscribed, thank you so much for the continuous support. Let's get started with the review for Ancient Realm. Now, before we begin, I do want to quickly mention that Button Shy Games did send us a copy of Ancient Realm for review purposes, so I want to put that out front and forward, but we have not been paid in any way for this review, so these are my genuine thoughts. Let's start off with a quick overview of Ancient Realm. In Ancient Realm, you play as a bustling new city who's going to be continuously expanding their empire through the use of placing wonders. You'll use your resources to pay for these wonders, and they'll provide you with opportunities for endgame scoring, as well as special abilities that you can use throughout the game. The game flow has you placing a single card every turn. You'll have a market in front of you that you can pull from, and then you'll either place them onto the top of your areas in order to trigger some of the icons that already exist in your city, or to the left and the right side of your civilization in order to make this large chain, this huge panorama of all of these different icons. So you're either building out or you're building on top of things that already exist. Now, when you do so, you're going to trigger the effects of all of the cards that are underneath, and that's going to give you new resources, new coins, but it is going to cover up their symbols and abilities, which could feed into your other scorings. So it's a careful balance of getting resources to pay for wonders and then scoring huge amounts of points with the various scoring opportunities that are present. My first pro has to go to the stacking system, and this is the core foundation of the game, and I think it's so strong. It's elegant, it's smart, and it's satisfying, as whenever you play a card, you have the opportunity to cover your pre-existing symbols in order to trigger their special abilities. This is a huge trade-off, though, because you're getting rid of that scoring potential, those symbols, as well as triggering all sorts of potential abilities in the process. So you want to do this, but it is going to punish you for some of your other cards. It's a push and pull of what you need to do, what you want to do, and what you think is going to put you in a great position. It's a satisfying feeling having to sequence this out, where you're going to put the cards, in what order you're going to activate them in order to build as many wonders as possible and get all of that scoring potential. It's elegant, simple, and excellent. That is the stacking system. My next positive has to do with the fluid adjacency. This is when you're playing your cards into your realm and you have the option on placement, so much flexibility that's going to open up so much potential for you. And when you play, you can play to the left or the right of your realm, not covering anything, or you can cover something fully, partially cover things, maneuver around. And this is not something that you have to commit to on turn one. It's something that you can change back and forth your mind on. Cover something, leave something exposed for a long while, get advantage from leaving specific symbols open, and then revert back to a new strategy based on the tactical placement of these events that are in the deck and how they come out throughout the game. One of my favorite cards in this game is the Mine here. This gives you 2 points per wonder that's adjacent to another wonder if it's revealed at the end of the game. So when you take these large wonders, they're actually bigger than your normal tiles, so they do take up a lot of space. So when you're taking new wonders, you're trying to have pre-existing tiles that are on the board that will generate resources and have all those wonders fall in place. It's a great feeling when you're able to make it all work together, get those wonders sitting next to each other, and just get even more value from the things that you're doing. And the fluid adjacency allows things like this to happen. My next positive goes to the resource management. You'll have these trackers that are able to count up your different resources of the different types at the bottom of your area here. And you'll also have the coin resource that you can spend 2 of in order to get 1 of any resource. So it's more flexible, but it's got a higher cost when it comes to actually producing anything. Whenever you spend your resources, each one is equally important, as each wonder has a certain strength and benefit to it. So you're always trying to manage them as best as you can, but each resource that you gain has a cost associated, and that ties into that stacking system of it's a potential symbol or icon that you're covering up, as well as you sometimes have to pay coins in order to make resources, so you better make sure that those resources that you're creating are worth it. So I love this concept of trying to balance everything when it comes to the resource management, but it's done in an inintrusive, non-fiddly way, which is perfect. And speaking of resources, my next positive goes to using wonders as a secondary resources through the abandoning wonders effect. When you're playing on your turn, you can, as a free action, get rid of the top card or one of the face-up wonders that's on the board in exchange for 2 gold or any 1 resource. This is an interesting choice as it depletes your scoring potential. You're running out of these wonders that you can build, which are going to actually give you that endgame scoring potential, but it may put you in a position where you can make combos and make actions work that weren't possible before. It's a risk that you're willing to take because of the value that it can get you in the now and the combos that it can set up later. I love that it gives you versatility, but you're not sure what you're losing if you do blindly get rid of it from the deck, but it does give you some control of the wonders that are face up as well. I think this is a brilliant system, and it's a great way of using the wonders as a secondary resource. My next positive goes to the event system, and this is a passive ability that you're able to use every single turn that's tied to the back of your market stack, so that these are the cards that you can potentially buy. Every single time you buy a new one, the top market stack will reveal, changing the event and changing the ability that you can tap into each round. Now, some of these events are going to give you ways to cheat the game a little bit. Hiring Citizen for free is not having to pay the coin costs, or when building things, paying less resources, gaining special abilities that are going to help facilitate the building of your realm. And I love that you can game the system on this, because the events only change when you're actually pulling from the market. If you decide to build a wonder instead, the event will stay for another round. So if you can chain successively multiple wonders so that you don't have to change that event, you can milk it and really use it to the best of its ability and make it so that your realm is bustling because of it. The different effects of these also are going to be different from game to game in the order that they come out, and are going to push you to lean into specific ways of playing in order to make the most benefit from that. That being said, you can also just quickly buy stuff from the market, ignore it, and find an event that you like. It'll fit your playstyle, how you want to approach it, if you want to play more tactically, or maybe if you're searching for a specific event that you've seen or one that may help you in your situation. Lots of control and flexibility, but also opportunism. That's the event system in Ancient Realm. My next pro has to do with the graphic design. It's clear, it's concise, and it's accessible. You have symbology that makes sense, but that also is allowed to feature the artwork and organize logically in the different cards. It also facilitates the game well by giving you distinct cards that are recognizable as wonders, like you can see here with the statue of Zeus, and then when you're actually stacking them, they fit perfectly in those columns, allowing you to clearly understand what cards you're activating when, and then when you're finishing resolving, they stack perfectly on top of one another. I love this system, and it makes sense, accessible, easy to read and understand, and it will help facilitate the flow of the game. The next thing has to do with the artwork, and the artwork and theme of this game make a lot of sense to me, and it's something that I appreciate. I love that they're giving a lot of space for artwork, but not skimping on the abilities, the effects, the symbology. It's something that you can appreciate, and you see your realm build out throughout the game, and it's something that you're going to be encouraged to do. See this realm expand. I also love the fact that the wonders are thematically larger, but also make sense when it comes to covering multiple areas. So there's some mechanical implications from displaying this large artwork. I love that it's been interwoven into the game design itself. So that's the theme, the artwork, the graphic design, as well as those mechanical implications of that larger artwork from the wonders. And my final pro has to do with how unique the game feels. In the wallet genre, there are several games that use stacking as a core mechanism, but paired with the resource management and the opportunism from the event system, Ancient Realm does something different that makes you feel like it's something you've never done before, especially when it's tied with that column activation system. So this is one that I recommend if you're looking for a wallet-style game that's something that you have not played before, and that is Ancient Realm. Let's move on to the neutrals, starting off with there are similar passive abilities on the passive ability wonders. And whenever you construct a wonder, it's generally going to fall into two different categories. The first is going to provide you with endgame scoring potential, giving you some criteria that you're going to be chasing after to get a bunch of points. But some of these others will give you passive abilities and a fixed flat rate of victory points. For example, Temple of Artemis here gives you 5 points, and then if you activate one of your log cutting buildings, you get an additional log for doing so. There are some different passive abilities that dive into the different aspects of the game, but there are several of the wonders in this starting package of Ancient Realm that all have a similar effect. For example, you'll have one that says every time you use a quarry and gain a rock, you get an additional rock, and then the same thing for the grain. So they do use the pretty much a exact copy of the effect for just the different resource areas, and I understand why they do this. They give you options for just generating resources and wanting you to cover specific land types, giving you incentives to do so, but for me, it's not super exciting, and I do appreciate when different passive abilities show up, as those are going to be the ones that I'm going to chase. Even if these are efficient and they are going to be helpful for building up your civilization, they aren't super flashy or variable, and I'd like to see more cool passive abilities instead of a lot of repeats of the same type. While I appreciate these always being in the game, I wish that there was something in their abilities that would differentiate them from each other just a little bit. And that brings us to my last neutral for this video, and that's just that I want more Ancient Realm. So Ancient Realm reminds me a lot of the game Skulls of Sedlec. This is a simple framework experience from Buttonshy, one of my favorites from their entire collection, but it's been injected with so many expansions that have honestly ramped up the modularity and get you coming back again and again, being able to combine different expansions, seeing how the game is going to change, as well as having solo puzzles and challenges, things that are going to keep you excited and make you just want to play Skulls of Sedlec all the time. Now, Ancient Realm does come in a single 18-card box when you purchase it, but at this point, our Skulls of Sedlec box is huge. We've gone all in. This game is amazing, and just having that stuff makes you want to play it more because that combination, those different effects and abilities are entrancing. They're exciting. They're going to keep you coming back. Now, in Ancient Realm, whenever you play, you see with that core set every single card when you play. You have the 4 resource cards, and then the other 14 cards are being played. Yes, they're going to be coming out in different orders. Yes, the events that come out are going to change things drastically based on when they come out, and this even gives you some planning because you know that there are certain cards in each of the stacks, and you understand what you're giving up when you're going through each of the decks. So there are definite positives to this because that's why I put it as a neutral, but it's also going to be something that I want more of. This reminds me of like a cash cow, honestly, where this is going to be a game that can be expanded forever, and I'm all for it. I want more content for it, even just additional sets of cards to swap in and out, I think are something that I drastically want for Ancient Realm. And hey, have no fear, there is an expansion for Ancient Realm, Monuments and Misfortunes. At this time, I have not played it, I don't have a copy of this, but Ancient Realm, Monuments and Misfortunes seems to do this for this game. It offers, I believe it's like 4 or 6 more cards, and then you're going to be shuffling some of those cards into the deck and then taking some out. And they give you new abilities, new effects, as well as disasters, negative things that can happen to your city that you'll need to manage. And I love this. This is exactly what I want, and I do think that when you get this core game, it's going to be something that you'll notice after a while and you'll want to get more. So I'm putting it as a neutral here because I think some people might not like that, sort of discovering everything when it comes to that core experience, but I think other people, including myself, are going to love this because, yes, it has expansions, and it's going to be something that you can continuously expand, and that's going to be something that keeps on bringing you back. I want things like more symbols, more abilities, more passive effects, new interesting things to do in the Ancient Realms area, new events, new wonders that have effects that you're excited to play and mess with. Give me the entire Skulls of Sedlec treatment. Let me take this tiny box to this gigantic box, and then let me take the Sprawlopolis route. I want the Agropolis. Give me Agropolis realms. Give me nature realms. Give me everything. I just want more Ancient Realm, and I think that after you play this, you're going to as well. And that's actually where we're going to end this middle portion of the video. At this time, I don't have any cons for Ancient Realm. I think that the pros are dramatic, and then the neutrals have some of my negatives kind of squished in here, but nothing is really shouting out at me here that wouldn't be just nitpicking small things. So right now, no cons for Ancient Realm. And that brings us to my final thoughts, as well as my star ratings, and lastly, my ultimate recommendation for Ancient Realm. I'm giving Ancient Realm an 8 out of 10 according to the Board Game Geek scale. This is a very good game. I like to play it. I'll probably suggest it, and I'm never going to turn down a game of Ancient Realm. The pros deal with the stacking system, that's that core framework that lead into the fluid adjacency. It's going to give you this flexibility that you can go back to again and again and allow you to change your plays throughout the entire experience, having a long-term strategy, but also being able to play tactically. The resource management is perfect without getting in the way and makes it so that each resource is equally important, and it's going to be something that you're going to be trying to be as efficient as possible with. I love that the wonders serve as a secondary resource that you can tap into, and then the events are going to change up the experience and push you to engage with them as much as possible. When it comes to graphic design and the theme and artwork, they work hand in hand, delivering you an experience that's accessible and smart, and the entire unique system is one that you'll want to make sure is in your personal board game library. The neutrals are what is keeping it from that 9 or 10 status, as there are a lot of similar passive abilities in this initial core set when it comes to some of those passive ability wonders, and it's something that I just want want more of. I want more than just this core set at this point, and I can see this rating go up as I get to engage with more cool powers and effects in this brilliant system. Finally, we'll wrap up the video with my recommendation. For Ancient Realm, I'm giving it a full recommendation. I think that if you're a solo gamer, this is going to be a game you want in your personal library. Now, we were sent a copy of Ancient Realm for review purposes for SideGame LLC, but I do not receive any kickback or anything like that for recommending new games, so keep that in mind because this is my honest opinions and experiences with Ancient Realm, and I think it's one that you need to grab. And that being said, you currently cannot actually get Ancient Realm. It is sold out for the pre-orders that are shipping here in August of 2023, but if you go to the Button Shy Games' website, I'll leave a link in the description below, you can sign up for their newsletter, and that way you can keep a check on when they're going to be coming into new stock with new things. So keep that in mind right now. This is a game that is a bit harder to get currently, but I'll leave a link in the description below so that you can follow it and see when it comes back into stock. And that's my review of Ancient Realm. I hope that you found this useful and that you're excited to try out Ancient Realm because it completely surprised me with how the system worked, just how engaging and enticing the entire experience was. I'm curious to hear what you think about Ancient Realm. What do you think about the game? Is this one that you're interested in checking out? Do you play solo games? Do you play Button Shy games? Have you already played Ancient Realm? What do you think of your experience? And in general, what did you think of the review as a whole? I'd love to hear what you think. Thank you so much for watching. Side Game Strong.